A looming question around the event and hospitality industry is if the UK nighttime industry is dying. Despite its cultural and economic value, many venues are closing at an unprecedented rate. However, the nighttime industry may be described as transforming rather than dying, which raises questions as to the direction this industry is heading in today's ever-changing world. The nighttime industry includes all economic activities between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. It is not just an economic powerhouse, but a cultural hub which breeds creativity, shapes identities, and provides societal connection where people indulge in recreation. The nighttime industry employs 8.7 million people, down from 9.5 million in 2016. This reflects on the post-pandemic decline in employment and the exposure of leisure industries. The UK nighttime industry has a rich history, blowing up through club and rave culture in the 1990s to early 2000s, pioneered by venues such as Cream, Hacienda and the Ministry of Sound. This was fueled by the strong youth culture. As of 2021, the nighttime economy contributes around 66 billion annually to the UK economy. More than 800 nighttime venues have had to close since 2020, which is approximately a decline of around 26%. Since March 2020, the UK has lost a staggering 37% of nightclubs. This creates concerns about the breakdown of culture and loss of creativity due to this. So, what are the reasons as to why there is such a rapid decline in the UK nighttime industry? The COVID-19 pandemic is a major contributor to the disruption and decline, with venues closed for months and never reopening, and 15.8% of independent nightlife businesses shut in since March 2020. Due to the pandemic and global pressures such as the Russia and Ukraine war, venues have been hit hard by rising costs, with energy bills rising by 80% on average in 2023. A cost of living crisis caused inflation on food and non-alcoholic beverages to peak at 19.2%. This gives the public less disposable income, which has a knock-on effect to the nighttime industry as it is a luxury. Another reason as to why venues are struggling to operate is that UK licensing laws are strict compared to many European cities. For example, the Licensing Act 2003 considers live music as regulated entertainment, requiring a licence even for small venues. This means that large clubs grow whilst independent grassroots venues struggle to survive. Independent venues are usually cultural hubs. In contrast, corporate chains have been able to tackle cost pressures due to economies of scale. This threatens diversity and grassroots culture due to a reduced focus on unique character of a venue and a stronger focus on profits. There has also been a culture shift as to what is attractive to the younger generation. This has impacted the nighttime industry, as young people are going out less, spending less and drinking less. This may be due to an increased concern for safety, financial barriers and an increase in transport prices. Also, there is a growing global trend towards a sober and wellness lifestyle. As nightclubs are in decline, the live music and UK festival industry is booming. 19.2 million people attended live music events in 2023, a 33% increase since 2022. Festival and concert revenue is forecasted to surpass pre-pandemic numbers, reaching more than 3.22 billion by 2026, suggesting there is not a decline in culture, but a redistribution of spending where people opt for a large-scale experience over a local night out. Also, the rise in the bottomless brunch, day raves and sober alternatives to the night out show how the industry has transitioned to adapt to societal change. This suggests that there is a late night decline, whereas evening venues and bars are resilient, with 5 to 7 p.m. being the UK's most lucrative trading window. In cities like Berlin and Amsterdam, they implement a nightmare that is responsible for mediating nighttime activity and liaising with local businesses, which aids in boosting the local economy. Manchester implemented a similar strategy through employing Sacha Lord as the nighttime economy advisor. Looking deeper into Manchester, it is a pioneer for safe and accessible transport, investment into venues and strategic planning to have a healthy nightlife. For example, the B-Bus network, tram networks and the warehouse project showcase their efforts in supporting the industry. Whilst there are efforts to create a safer environment, there are still large concerns in the industry around the increase in spiking and sexual harassment trends, with 6,732 reports of spiking in 2023, with 80% of spikings taking place in public spaces, such as nightclubs. This could be a contributor to the decline in the nighttime industry due to the fact people feel unsafe to go out. Nightclub culture and the nighttime industry as a whole hold key cultural responsibilities, such as providing safe and accepting areas for members of the LGBTQ+ community. However, since 2006, 58% of the LGBTQ+ venues in London have closed. This poses a risk to a loss of culture and identity, which could have a negative impact on social cohesion and personal well-being. There are many economic impacts of the industry's decline, such as an increase in unemployment, reduction in revenues for local areas, and a decrease in tourism. Also, social impacts such as reduced human interaction and community, leading to loneliness and mental health illnesses, as the nighttime industry offers recreational outlets. These impacts imply to the importance of the survival and the resurgence of the industry for society as a whole. So, what does the future hold for the UK nighttime industry? There is and will be a shift from traditional nightlife to an already popular evening sector, focusing on bar culture, unique experiences, and the takeover of the chain pub. Also, people are choosing large-scale AV-focused live music events and festivals, which has affected the traditional local nightclub. The industry calls for immediate help, such as reduced VAT for businesses in events and hospitality, relief of costs such as national insurance tax and energy bills, also local investment into late-night transport, public safety and formal recognition for the nighttime industry as an important economic and cultural sector in the national policy. This will aid in the survival of the industry. So, is the UK nighttime industry dying? It's not so much dying, but in a transition from tradition, adapting to socio-economic impacts such as the pandemic, global conflicts, cost of living crisis, a shift in consumer habits, and societal change in norms and values.